Hi everyone, welcome to Gunpla TV, sponsored by HobbyLink Japan. Sorry this episode's a little late, but due to the recent happenings here in Japan and the rolling blackouts, our schedule is kind of a little bit mixed up, but we hope to get back to normal soon. And speaking of normal, well, today we're going to be actually looking at Gunpla again, and specifically SD Gundam, the super deformed. And there's a lot to talk about when it comes to SD Gundam and the types of kits there are. So before I start getting into this pile, let's have a look at what just came in. Here's the newest Gundam UC HG kit. It's the Ecoas Jegan, and it's similar to the previous Jegans, but of course the armor is quite a bit different and the weapons are different as well. It kind of looks like a gym if you ask me, and the color is quite a bit different from the other Jegans that we've seen before. But if you're into Gundam UC kits, definitely this is a pretty cool kit. You're going to want to pick it up. And speaking of cool, this thing is so cool, I have to show you guys. Look at this. It's the Hot Toys Iron Man, and this thing is way cool, and it's so cool. I know it's not Gundam, but I don't need that reason to show it to you. I mean, look at this thing. Hot Toys, if you're not familiar with them, they make 1/6 scale action figures and dolls that are so lifelike, it's mind-boggling to say the least. But I mean, you might not believe me just looking at this box, so why don't we just show you the real thing? So here's the Hot Toys Iron Man Mark 6. I mean, look at this thing. This is really cool. Not only is it completely articulate here with the hands, and we have lights that come on in the face and in the hands, but also on the back you have all these moving pieces. It's wicked. I mean, it's not Gundam, but it doesn't have to be Gundam to be cool. There's lots of cool stuff out there, and occasionally we'll show you when some really sweet stuff comes in. But enough of that. Now let's get back and talk about SD. Alright, so when it comes to SD, you can see there's a great variety to choose from, and that's an understatement actually. You can go with the newer SDs, the very popular kits like the Shinanju and the OO Riser, and you can see the box is comparable to an HG kit, but this is kind of out of the norm just because of all the stuff that these kits come with. If you look at this box, it's the same size, but there's actually 2 SD kits in here. And again, this is a special set, so you're not going to see this very often. What you normally would see is something like this. It's this little tiny box. Bandai has priced this at 400 yen. And what you see is what you get. It's a cute little SD Gundam. There's some stickers in there, and we'll show you what's inside the box in a moment. But not only can you get like the Gundams in SD form, but you also get these kind of SDs, these BB Senshis, kind of like old school Chinese fighting warriors, and they're still based on Gundam suits. So you can see this is the Sasabi, as well as the here's the Zeta Plus, and of course here's the Gundam, and you can see it bears a resemblance to the RX-782. And these ones are actually from an anime that was released in Japan not so long ago, the Brave Battle Warriors. And you even get these kind of Gundams. It looks like a female. This is the Gabera here, and looks very Chinese-ish, I think, not so much Japanese. As well, what I want to mention here is that with the SD kits, there's so many of them, you can actually get a kit that's not available in another form. Here's the Gundam Crossbone X2, and this isn't available in a master grade kit yet, or of course a perfect grade. In HG, I don't think there's one either. But if you want to build one, you have the option of building it as an SD. And here's a Blitz Gundam. You're not going to see this as a master grade kit, but if you want to build a super deformed one, there it is. As well, you can get some pretty monstrous sets here. Here's a Tall Geese, and it doesn't look much like the Tall Geese you might know from the anime, but the reason this box is so enormous is because it basically comes with anything you can imagine. And here's his ride, and it transforms and combines with the suit to make an even bigger suit. And carrying along in that line, this is very similar as well. You can see the sizable box. It's an SD kit, but this guy comes with a horse, so you actually get to assemble the horse and put them all together here. So going back to what we're going to show you today, here's the Crossbone X1, and we're going to open this up and show you what's inside. Alright, here's my SD Gundam Crossbone X1, and I've chosen this one because I have not yet built a Crossbone. I've been tempted to build the MG version, but I stayed away from that, and now I'm going to build the SD Gundam for all you guys. So looking inside here, well, here's the manual, and what you see is what you get. You only have 3 pages of actual instruction. And some of these kits, mostly the Brave Battle Warriors, they'll come with a comic inside the manual. But with the Gundam kits, you're not gonna get that. And what's inside the box? Well, you only have one plastic bag, and as you can see, we have 2 runners plus the joint parts, as well as foil stickers. There's lots of foil stickers in the SD kits, which is good because you can't really get in there to do much detailing and painting. So let's open this thing up and get cracking. Maybe I'll refrain from the stickers just to save time. So first off, I'm just going to find these parts and start going here. I haven't actually built this kit to test, so I'm just going here. Normally, when you're building these SD kits, what the manual will have you do is just start with the head. It's the biggest part. That's why it's super deformed, because it has this monstrous head when you look at the proportions. And once you get the head finished, the rest of it falls into place pretty simply. But if you have been spending all your time building HGs and MGs, you might actually find yourself having to stop and take notice that things are quite a bit different. There's no clear parts for the most part. You're actually just sticking stickers like the eyes here right onto the plastic, which is different from HGs and MGs that you've built before. So here we go. Here's my head. I'm not going to bother with the stickers right now, just for the sake of time. And as I'm building the crossbone, it wouldn't be the crossbone without this part right there. Look at that skull. And yeah, I should be faithful and actually stick the skull on there. Now it's definitely looking like it's crossbone itself. Throw that on here. And there we are. We have the SD head here. Look at the size of this thing. I mean, this is the body part, and it's just, the head is the same size. Put this to the side here. Next time I'm supposed to build shoulders here. I actually like building SD kits mostly because when you're doing it, it's not difficult to know which parts you're supposed to be working with. MGs, HGs to some extent, and perfect grades, of course, you have runners everywhere. They're just piled up and you have to dig through them repeatedly. But with something like this, that's not something you need to worry about. You're only working with 2 runners. You should be able to find them pretty simply. So just to build an arm, I'm looking at these pieces right here. And that's the extent of it for the arms here. Slide this in here, and as you can see, it's going to have some articulation. It's not going to be able to twist, but that's understandable when you consider that this is just a 2-runner kit that's priced at 400 yen. It's mostly for the look. And you can see that the underside is actually hollow in here. They don't fill in this. It would take a few more pieces or a lot more plastic to actually fill this in. And then they would have to redo the runners entirely, and of course that would change the pricing. And I think Bandai aims to keep these rather inexpensive for the most part, because these are very, very popular with really young kids. And once you can get somebody hooked on something when they're young, then you have a customer for life. So what they do is they aim to keep them relatively inexpensive, and then as the children grow up and get older, well, they just move on to more and more advanced kits. So here's my arms already. Next up is feet. So using the remaining red parts here. Like a Gundam kit, it's molded in plastic, and you may need to get in there with some paint or Gundam marker to change some things that aren't to your liking if you want to be anime accurate in some circumstances. And of course, there's still recesses and you can do panel lining should you want to, and a majority of people do. Just like that, I've got feet. Moving along pretty quickly here. So now here's what we're looking at for the actual body of the machine, and this is where these pieces come in. If there's not polycaps like we're used to them in HG kits and MG kits, but these are flexible, so they will allow some bend. But this is basically all you're going to really get is this twisting of the torso, and the arms will pivot in here. So we throw this in here, put this on here. And like any other Gundam kits, SD kits are popular among Japanese modelers for customization, and some people actually spend a lot of time changing the proportions of the SD kits, and they'll extend legs, and they will totally redesign torsos and shoulders, but for the most part they leave the head the same, and they'll have an extended body, which looks, the proportions change, but it actually looks in some ways much better. If you're really good with plastic and plow plate and things like that, you can really create a unique kit that doesn't look like an HG and doesn't look like an SD. It's somewhere in between. But the skills for that, you need a lot of practice. You need a lot of time in. And here's the basic body here, but of course this is the crossbone, so we are going to actually do the crossbone part of this. So I need this piece. I put it on without checking. Okay. Recently, Bandai has started putting out SD kits that are a little bit more advanced. The Unicorn that came out last year actually could transform from its Unicorn mode to Destroy mode, and also to something the shape of a unicorn, which the MG kit doesn't even do. So that brought a lot of attention. And some of the higher priced ones will also come with stands. Of course, the new Shinanju comes with a stand, and I think some of the Strike Freedom also comes with a stand, but I can't verify that right now. If it comes with a stand, it generally tends to be a few yen more. You're looking at like 600 perhaps, instead of like a 400 kit. So with this kit built, I'm just going to throw the weapons on. Here's the saber. I'll put that here. And his gun. And just like that, SD magic. Alright, so that brings the SD Super Deformed episode of Gunpla TV to a close. We had a good time, me and my buddy here. We're glad you guys checked it out. Speaking of SD, on HobbyLink TV we have some new SD related content, so you can go over there and check out some other people's SD designs. And the next episode of Gunpla TV, we're going to have some look at some non-Gundam related kits, but we're going to keep it a surprise, so look forward to that. See you later.